Hey everybody, whoever's watching this. Can't tell what gum in my mouth. A few thoughts I wanted to express. I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant. It talks about ESBI in a box, ESBI, E employee, B, E employee, S self-employed, B business owner, I investor. And there's just this paradigm shift in thinking about money and where your money comes from, where your income comes from, and just how the thoughts you engender about that which you desire creates it, and numerous other things related to that. Okay, that's level one, right? Level one, looking at that example, a framework of thought has such a dramatic impact on the sequence of events that occur in life. He gives the example of his father, his real dad, who works as an employee and thinks as an employee and pays 50% in taxes his whole life, and then doesn't spend time with his family, and all the things, this mental framework, this core belief, this paradigm of life that affects him. And then he shares about his father, who similarly, his rich father, his friend's dad, who is different, and contrasts that and how he has time, and just the way that they think about life, about money, about earning income, and how that changes the course of their life. So I've known that, and that's level one, as I said. But like level two is really just taking a moment to acknowledge that the existence of things of that sort, where common motifs of thought dictate patterns of life and correlate to the types of problems we experience in life, the things we receive from life, the people we meet in life, the things we do in life, so much more. So one for me, to contrast that example, is God, right? So I know God made me and made me in his image, and I know that sin is what has caused the destruction that I see around me and the wickedness that I observe on the earth, and things happen that aren't fair. Innocent babies die in war, death, but I know that nobody said that sin was fair. Nobody said that it was an equal exchange. So when I look at things in the world through my paradigm of the world and what the Bible says about how old the earth is, how the earth was formed, this paradigm I have, this starting point that I use to think about the world and life, changes the way my entire life and how I respond to things. Stephen Covey talks about these things in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that's second level. But the third level really dives into what Solomon talks about in the book of Proverbs. Why wisdom and understanding is worth more than gold, and riches and every fine treasure that can be desired. It is amazing upon the observation of life, after the thought of the acknowledgement of a paradigm, one sees many revelations that they have been living in continuously. So how much more amazing would it be if one could recognize these paradigms from a third level, right? So like first level, recognize the money one. Second level, really contrasting and observing that these things exist around us, these paradigms, and then stepping beyond that, becoming an active observer of these things, of these frames of thought, and then having an awareness that yes, these thoughts exist. However, they can be identified and challenged. One way that came to my understanding that you can find these thoughts, or by looking at the patterns of speech that people use. Back to Kiyosaki's book, people say things like, you have to go to college, you have to get a job, you put in your retirement, you live and you die. So like that, and from that, there's a lot of different things people say, words they use, patterns of thinking that correlate with that. And then, that extends to the thing about God and the world as well. But just observing what people say, and even the common things that people say within social groups, within circles of influence. You gotta make money. You gotta have money to make money, right? I'm trying to think of some others as examples. My thoughts are not connecting for some other examples. If I think of some, I'll share them. But yeah, you have to have money to make money. That's not true, right? For example, but listening to those common words that people use, you can then begin to question these commonalities, and that can bring forth the understanding of a larger picture, which could lead to a change in paradigm, which could simplify life. Another level to this that I was thinking about was the use of time. So time is really the greatest asset of life, because once you have no time, you have no time. And where time is allocated, we have asset allocations at my job, but time allocations, this is good, but really gives us an understand. If we really just objectively look at where our time goes and the duration of the things we spend time on, and then look between the layers of those things. So, one that just came to mind, sleep, right? We spend so much of our lives sleeping. We spend 8 of 24 hours in the day on average sleeping. That's 33%, right? That's a lot of time to sleep. That's as much time as we work. Could we really think about the numerous things that are associated within just sleep as a unit of thought? We spoke about another 30. Okay, we have 30% there. Another 33%. We have work, right? We have where money comes from. I just kind of touched on Kiyosaki's shifted framework around money. Like, your money can become E or S, right? Your 8 hours, or your money can come from an I or B, and then your time would actually not be associated. Transferring that to another 8, the last 33%, you could call it relationships, family, personal. I'm at the gym right now. So, thinking about just where time is allocated, and then the commonalities that exist within those allocations, and how those can be challenged to make life easier. So back to the 33% of work, the paradigm shift that Kiyosaki presents allows for the acquisition of income to be easier, more accessible, less toilsome, more pleasurable, less taxes, right? So in the eyes of the world, great value. Let's add the time that we would spend with God with that, right? So, think of Daniel in the Bible. What paradigm did he have? He prayed 3 times a day. he had a relationship with God, a man of faith who trusted God in the hands of death. You know, men like Elijah, men like Moses, like David, who had these relationships with God that were profound, that are written about. What if there was a way of thinking about faith in God on a similar level that allowed us to have more faith in Him and be able to realize our access to Him, right? Relationships, it's said that oftentimes some of the most joy and the most joy or the most pain we experience in life is because of relationships. What if I know the paradigms we have surrounding relationships, if change can alleviate much tension and stress in life, because I've experienced that. But yeah, what if we observe the commonalities, like with working with difficult people and challenging those things? And this is where the acquisition of knowledge comes in, because pursuing information in books or conferences or talking to people of wisdom and of experience can bring into understanding these things that are difficult to discern on your own. But the initial questioning of them and the observation of them, I think, is profound in and of itself and deserving of meditation. What's really astounding to me, moreover, though, is the art of observation. The art of observation and taking time to just observe things that pass our attention, right? The most profound truths lie within the most simple things in life. And I'm sure there's numerous philosophies connected with this, and not subscribing to a form of Eastern type of meditation or of the sort, but just simply thinking about the why behind the what we do, and the what is around us, and all the more is of great value. And when the Bible says that wisdom and understanding are worth more than gold, it's not a light thing, because it really is. And these are the thoughts that we have ability to contemplate with our limited understanding of life as human beings. Over the past 13 minutes of me just talking into this cell phone camera, I've gone through different levels of thought that are very complex. This is not an ordinary thing for ordinary creation to do, right? Like for me to think of the things I just thought about, like my car can't think about those things, right? AI can't think about those things, right? So I made an image of God, and that's why I can think about those things. And I say all that to emphasize, if me being made in the image of God, a creation of God, thinks on this level, the mind of God is the most beautiful thing in existence, because it knows everything. So if this great mind upon which God has revealed to us but we not fully understand, and within this revelation we come to conclusions on what we see and understand. If one really desires a greater understanding, we must look no further than to know this God, to know what He has to say unto us. And when the Lord took Moses and put him on Sinai to receive the message the words upon which he had imparted unto men to hear. He could have said anything, but he begins with the Ten Commandments and the law of God, the perfect, immutable law of God. And we have the opportunity to know his thoughts, to get a glimpse into his mind, into his precepts, into his justice. And these are the things upon which is deserving of time and life, because it is of he who giveth life, right? The pursuing of understanding and wisdom through the studying of the Bible is the greatest privilege of man. Moreover, the ability to know God, to simply say Father, and he's listening to you, and he provides for you a way to connect with him. It's truly profound. And for me, I desire not wealth nor riches, position or power, but to know God. David says he desireth one thing from the Lord, to behold the Lord, and to gaze upon his beauty, just to behold the beauty of the Lord. Yeah. So that's all I have to say for this time, but all the best to you. And God bless. May you principally find a relationship with the Lord. In Jesus' name, bye.